Better.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, they say that like there's these differences that are inaudible to the human ear. Do you think on some level like you can feel it? You know how like you can feel the bass of like a big stadium, whatnot. You can feel when there's like the gain behind it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
think you can, like, even if you can't necessarily audibly be like, oh, that's the one that has it. Like when it comes on, you can just
There's
know?
like a sensory something like almost like an intuition, or like you're feeling something you can't necessarily hear.
right.
Yeah, I feel
like
that.
like adding to the emotional content of the music.
Totally. Yeah. So for Mouthpieces, I've never really felt like I knew what I was doing when I was buying gear. But I know that for Mouthpiece, like there's a couple things I look for. I look for that I can really push a lot of air through it.
Mhm.
Like I want to really be able to blow through the mouthpiece.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, like, have you played on like a Caravan, like one of those types of mouthpieces? They use them in the classical realm a lot.
Oh no, actually.
So it's got just like this beautiful, rich, dark sound, but your air is very like and
Really?
you can't like push the air through the mouthpiece. It has like almost like a limited range.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, so it's a nice sound, but you can't. It's like you feel the resistance of the piece.
You can feel the resistance of the piece. That's the best way of putting it. And David Dempsey at William Patterson, I was talking to him about it one time, and he actually like tore one up. He brought it to his guy to try to like work on it to see if they could make it, have that playability and still capture that dark tone.
And could they?
Weren't able to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, weren't able to do it. But yeah, that's the Caravan. And so yeah, before this one, I played on the Auto Link hard rubber, like modern. I don't know, like $90 at Sam Ash.
Oh, cool.
You guys have them. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Comes in like the white box with the orange writing on it.
Yeah, those are pretty nice.
Yeah, I played on that for a while, and then I played on the Metal Link for a while. I just don't think I'm a metal mouthpiece guy. I don't know. And before that, Meyer.
Sweet.
Rocked a Meyer for a long time.
Metal or hard rubber?
Hard rubber, yeah.
Cool.
7, 6, 7. And then before that, I was playing alto, so nothing matters about those years.
Got you.
Yeah, man. How about you? What mouthpiece are you playing on now?
Right now, I'm playing on a 7-star LaBelle. I got to admit, though, historically, I've been a kind of a metal mouthpiece kind of guy, but this piece you got right here, this is converting me. The warmth of the sound, and it's free blowing like a metal piece.
Totally.
It's, before this one, I was playing on a Metal Link as well. I think that was a 6-star, and I briefly played on a Jody Jazz. But
oh yeah, I did too.
Oh, cool.
I sold both of them recently.
I'm trying to do the same thing. I feel like at first it's really exciting because it gets this whole big bright sound, and it's like, whoa, it's so free blowing. It feels like it's going to be easier to play,
Sure.
But then once you play it longer, I don't know if it's the open table or something. I feel like the reeds die faster, and then it ends up not
a
being
reed killer.
Yeah,
slays those reeds.
Yeah.
You gotta throw a plastic one on that, or like one of
yeah.
those. What's the synthetic reeds that we got these days?
Oh, I don't.
Did you ever mess with any of those?
Nah.
Leger.
I've seen them, but not.
Yeah.
It's like.
Who's a beatbox sax guy?
Ooh.
Who's, you know what I'm talking about?
I've seen
he plays,
the videos.
He plays Leger. He's out in Chicago.
Really? That's cool.
Damn! Shout out to beatbox sax. We'll tag you in here. He's good, dude. He's really good.
Sweet. Gotta check him out.
Yeah. Yeah. So Leger, and then there's out in California, fiber reed.
Oh yeah.
There's two. There's like fiber reed, and then there's the one that's really cool. Danny Hoffman hooked me up. That's his company over there. But he sent me a couple to try out, and then I kept one of those. They use like carbon fiber.
Oh.
And
is it like a coating or?
No, the whole reed is made out of that.
Wow.
They last for a really long time. And then of course Rico plastic cover.
Yeah, those.
I got like black chips all on the inside of my mouthpiece.
Wow.
Yeah, tried a whole bunch of different things.
Do they sound brighter, do you think? Like do the plastic covers change the sound or?
Oh yeah, totally. I guess the concept behind it is that you don't get moisture into the reed.
Oh, okay.
There's like, since it's sealed off by the plastic.
Got you.
The moisture thing isn't an issue.
So where's the flexibility come from? I mean, because the reason that you would soak a reed is to kind of give it that flexibility that it had when it was a live cane.
Exactly. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough because I gotta find out. I really wasn't prepared for this video because like names they escape me sometimes. But there's this other YouTuber who has amazing saxophone tutorials on YouTube, and maybe I'll post the link. But he got me hip to soaking reeds vertically.
Oh, sweet.
So when you the way the cane grows is naturally this way. So when you soak the reed vertically, it soaks right up the fiber, and you can watch at the base of the reed, you can see it saturating because when the cane's growing, that's how it sucks the water up through the roots up through the cane. When you just lay it flat in the water, it doesn't absorb nearly as much as it does when you throw it in vertically. So like cups with like a flat side, like a pint glass like that you drink beer out of or something, they work perfectly because you just get the suction, just holds it on the side there in a couple minutes, and you can see the reed really grabbing all that water.
That's too cool.
Yeah. And then they say that reeds, they get softer because those fibers are breaking, right? Like when you play them, the fibers they break, and then that's why they're getting soft.
There's something about their plasticity too, right? Like they like while they're still intact, they can lose that front, like something about rubbing it in the same direction to kind of realign them as they get shaken up, right?
Sure. And I've seen like polishing the table of the reed on like a piece of paper or something.
Yeah, those little the sandblasted glass blocks.
Oh yeah, Van Doren put one of those out.
Yeah.
I think I have one of those in a box somewhere. I'll pull it out, and it came with like this little stick like this that you could like. You could like kind of like we were gonna talk about the Reed Geek a little bit, but it's like kind of getting in that territory. But it seems like the Reed Geek's on another level because it's got all different ends.
Yeah, it's really thorough. I think in terms of it has like every possible shape that you could think of for for the different kinds of scrapes. Like, it's over there, isn't it?
Go grab it.
No, actually, it's in my pocket.
Oh, nice. Always prepared. I gotta get one of these. Although in the past I've like put a lot of time in trying to make reeds work and just like pulling my hair out, and I was like, I talked to Jerry Weldon one time after a gig, and I was like, yeah, man, like I'm working on these reeds. Like, do you have any advice for like, what do you do at reeds? He's like, man, I open up the pack. If it doesn't work, I throw it out and I try another one. I was like, damn, Jerry Weldon.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
To that point, Craig Handy was telling me one time he puts he actually like writes on the reed in like a pen, just like to keep track of like its progress,
Sure.
So like G, good, VG, very good, whatnot. But then you can change the little stats. Like if you write it small enough at the bottom, you can go along to track the progression of the reed.
Interesting. I wonder if they ever get like better.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
as it's like breaking in.
Yeah, as they're breaking in and then they dip back down.
Right.
So you got the Reed Geek over here.
Yeah. So this top section is kind of like an eraser. It's for like more of the fine tuning kind of work. These edges are for like the bevels along the side. I think they're really helpful, especially for the top side of it, because like all the flat attachments, like really all four edges of the main section are good for planing things on the back.
Just
the
planing
table.
it straight. Yeah.
But as for working out the details of like up and along the vamp and closer to the tip of the reed, the round ones are really helpful. Especially, I just learned recently out of this book, the bass response or the low register response on the saxophone is largely controlled by like right up along the ridge at the back of the vamp, and just taking this little eraser tool and just scraping away tiny bit on this, like each of the sides, just like two little circles. It's amazing. It just opens up the sound of the reed.
So the vamp is. Hold on, let me take the reed off. So you're talking about all the way back here, like towards the middle.
Exactly,
of the reed where they start to cut it. Yeah,
right along here on those two sides.
And then that's where those bass tones are coming from?
Yeah. It assists in the resonance of it. I'm not entirely sure all the physics behind it. But,
sure.
Like when you scrape away a little bit down here, sometimes I think if the bass is really loud, but it's like boomy loud, kind of like too bright, that may not necessarily be the fix. I think the wording in the book was really interesting. It would be like too resonant versus too bright versus too sharp. You know, they would have like specific things, and I guess it's kind of up to your interpretation what they really mean.
Which book is that?
I could pull up the title if.
Is that did that come with the Read Geek, that book?
No.
Oh, it's a separate book.
Yeah, it was a book that I ran into at Sam Ash.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the upper register response is more like up along here, almost like you kind of want to avoid the spine of the reed down the center, and then carve away like almost if you imagine like a little Christmas tree.
Gotcha. And like I know that like if you put the reed up to the light, you can really see the way it's tapered.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see the fibers in there. Sometimes like if it's like that Christmas tree, sometimes they don't even cut it right, and it's like onto the side.
Exactly. Oh, and you can kind of feel it too if you like run your hand along the top. You know, sometimes you'll notice a reed is just like it sticks out more in the center of the vamp, or like indents, or it like cuts real fast from like right along where it would be filed, or if it is filed to along the vamp itself.
That's pretty interesting how these things work. Like, did you ever put like a reed on the mouthpiece and then breathe in through the opposite end and watch the reed like vibrate?
Oh my goodness, I've never tried that.
You've never done that? It's pretty funny. It's like, and then you really get an idea of what this reed is doing. I don't know if I should advise this to people to do. This might kill reeds. I don't know if this is like the smartest thing. But like you put the reed on like this and then you breathe in.
Oh, wow.
Wow, it's harder than I was expecting. And you can watch like how it's like flapping, and it's literally like these two ends. So you could have one end that's like sealing to the mouthpiece easier than the other end,
right,
and maybe that's causing an issue.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing with balancing it. It's crazy.
We're gonna be making a lot of weird noises like that in this video. But yeah, so it actually has to do like a complete seal. And then you see people sometimes do the like on their palm to make sure that the reed is actually sealing completely.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they have the neck on there, but you hold it on your palm and you breathe in. You hear that little pop.
Yeah.
So there's like some suction in there. That's an old trick. To know if the reed is sealing or not. But there's a lot of things that go into play, you know, everything from the tip all the way down to the table, whether or not this thing is getting a good seal on the mouthpiece, that's going to determine, you know, the type of response you're getting. And how much time do you usually spend like with the Read Geek and like playing with reeds and trying to figure it out?
Honestly, not too much time lately. It really depends though. I can get kind of obsessive with it.
Sure.
Like
it's fun.
Yeah, it is, but at the same time I think the more you work on it, it really doesn't take all that much. It's like you just got to find the sweet spot and kind of just all right, you know, and like try it often as you're working on it. When I a lot of the time when I get really into using it a lot, I'll try to like, I know exactly what this reed needs, and like I might know the area that it needs to be filed at, but like that doesn't mean I really know how much, or you know, like the balance of it. And so I'll just go at it, and it's like, this reed is actually unusable now. Whoops, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like going through reeds in the experimentation process, trying to figure out how to do it. Yeah, I've killed a few reeds. But I also had like, you ever seen the knife? Like it looks like something you would shave with to like file down reeds.
Oh,
it's
wow.
like an old school thing.
Wow.
Had a sharpening stone too.
Oh, that's cool.
But I think the Read Geek is like a much more portable, niftier tool.
Definitely less dangerous.
Definitely less dangerous. Do they come in like alto and tenor sizes, or is it just kind of like one?
It's all
size?
the same. I don't know. They might have additions for a clarinet or like, you know, some smaller woodwind reeds.
Sure.
Don't quote me on that. But
gotcha.
But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and the bass notes too. Sometimes I like the lower notes on the saxophone. I had always thought that like since the saxophone had like a curve in it, especially when you start playing like D, C, down in that range, it's like you're dealing with a tube that's bent now.
Right.
So I don't know if that inherently has something to do with the physics of the instrument, because I know since it's conical, your lower notes are usually flatter and your higher notes are sharper. So that's something we have to adjust as sax players.
That's true.
Yeah. The glories of playing saxophone.
Indeed. I don't know. I think designers are getting pretty good at accounting for it though.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Man, that's why, I'm going to sell my 6. I've had a
Really?
Mark 6 for a long time. I never really played it out. It's a beautiful horn. I think it's like a 72, like 95% original lacquer.
Wow.
And it's awesome, but there's something, I have the Yamaha Custom Z that I bought it new. I broke it in. I traveled the world with it. Not the whole world, but
Most of it.
no, not even most of it. But I traveled with it, and it's like kind of like my baby, and then you take a older horn, and they definitely have a vibe to them.
Mhm.
But like some of the new horns that they're coming out with are just like really nice too.
That's true.
What are some of the nicer horns you've tried out lately?
Ooh, kind of put me on the spot there.
Well, yeah,
Let's see. I tried a P Marriott yesterday. That was actually really nice.
nice.
Yeah, when I was originally looking to upgrade to my first pro horn, right? I was looking at the Mark 6s. Obviously, I was looking at 10Ms because a huge fan of Dexter
Con,
Gordon.
yeah.
And then along there, the P Marriotts were advertised as kind of like the modern Con replica type thing. They have the big bell and everything, and really really nice instruments around the same price range. As far as modern horns go, I think they would be my move. But yeah, I don't know.
And so school year starting up.
Yeah.
You did the auditions today.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I think it went pretty well.
Nice.
I'm excited to see where the placements go and everything. Honestly, at this point, I mean, all the cats are great. I'm looking forward to playing in any ensemble I got placed in.
Do you have any ensemble that you're like hoping more than to get into that more so?
Okay, yeah, kind of. I would love to be in the Afro-Caribbean ensemble, just to have the opportunity to work with Professor O'Conlon on ensemble context. But apart from that, nah, really anything. It would be cool.
Gotcha. That's cool. You have any other classes you're excited about this semester?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much all of them about equally. Comp and arranging looks like it's gonna be pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, just school,
That's it.
It's the stuff.
Okay, so the last time you were over, we were talking about playing on the Mouthpiece only.
Yes.
Which I was not gonna lie, I was pretty surprised that you had never heard about that before. That was like your first time trying it out, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely heard about it, and I'd tried it. I'd never gotten it, down. I'd never
got
like
into it.
Yeah.
So when I was at William Patterson, I was studying with Tim Rudiman. Great teacher. I was in the
His last
classical
name is
department.
Rudiment. That's flawless.
Yeah, some of the stuff he taught me, I didn't even realize was setting me up for success for years to come. You know what I mean? Because in the moment, I might have been like not really hip to like why I was practicing something. I was just doing it because the teacher was telling me to do it.
Right, yeah.
All the overtone stuff and the articulation exercises and the tone exercises. And, they were super picky about tone in the classical department because you're trying to get that, that blend with the quartet and everything. And he was just like, why would you play on the Mouthpiece? You just play the saxophone.
Really?
That sort of thing. Like he wasn't into it.
Wow.
When I would talk to him about that, because I was studying with this guy, Scott Grimaldi in Ford's.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one who got me hip to just playing on the Mouthpiece alone. I think I wound up quitting before I even finished being successful at playing the Mouthpiece. But it was like Mouthpiece only for like months.
Wow. Oh, that's intense.
It was really intense.
Like you couldn't play your saxophone at all?
I didn't play the saxophone in the lesson.
Oh, wow.
Maybe briefly at the end if I was like working on an audition piece, but I was going to him to get ready to audition for college.
Wow.
I auditioned for Rutgers, did not get in.
Really?
And got in at William Patterson, but just as an undeclared major.
Got you.
And then wound up working my way into the music program over there.
Sweet.
Wasn't sure what I was going to do. But so when I was preparing for college, he had me doing those Mouthpiece exercises. And then I get into college and Tim Rudiman's like, yeah, just play the saxophone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they sell this thing called the Mouthpiece silencer. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It kind of looks like a toilet paper roll or something that you plug in on the other side of the mouthpiece, so you can play the Mouthpiece only. It doesn't sound like an alarm is going off.
So it's kind of like the burp for brass.
Yeah, it's similar.
What do they call it? Buzz extension resistance piece, something like that.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like that. But, there's something about not having anything on the end of the mouthpiece and like having no resistance, which makes it so that if you can become flexible enough with your embouchure and more importantly, your air control.
Oh, big time.
Then it's like you throw the resistance on with the rest of the horn and it's like, wow, the way I can shape the tone is incredible.
Yeah.
It's never going to replace overtone exercises. I still think that's hands down the best tone production exercise one can do.
For sure. Because it works on your ear too. Then
Exactly.
you're really working with the pieces of the tone.
Right. How old were you when you first started doing overtone exercises?
Too old and too young at the same time. And so, it was too old as in it felt like it was too late, but like, or not too late, but like later.
Sure.
But also like, I don't think I really had like the kind of structure, that I needed in doing it. I was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, let me try to make this sound now, but I think I guess 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
About 8th or 9th grade, yeah. And it was really just I heard someone play like the upper altissimo D, and I was like, oh my god, that's it. I have
a saxophone can do that.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, wait, really? There's more notes, and then it was like this big quest. I couldn't, I didn't even understand the mechanics of it. I was just like, let me try to hit this note, and then I guess kind of over time, various like direction from teachers and just experience, it kind of came together. But
that's cool. Yeah, I didn't even know about it until college.
Really?
Yeah, that was when I first started knowing about overtones. And man, I was pulling my hair out on some of those in the beginning.
Oh, they're so hard.
They're so hard in the beginning. If you can get through that first the first 3 or 4 partials and just stick with it, then you're good. But especially get to that D and you try to hit that A. I was on alto. That was a really hard one for me.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
That was a really rough one for me. Or just like the second octave on the B flat.
Oh yeah, wow.
I don't know. Those were like tough for me. But we got top tones for the saxophone.
Oh yeah, Secret Rasher all the way.
Oh yeah, we got that on the stand over there.
Sweet.
Still mess with that, and yeah.
Cool.
I'm trying to think of what else we can talk about.
Well, we can make goose sounds at them.
Should we make goose sounds?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, all right. Let me ask you this before we get started.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed any benefit in practicing the mouthpiece only?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some things you noticed?
For one thing, I noticed that so you told me that the range that the mouthpiece can get is a 10th, and I later discovered that that's true. For the first, I was like, how? What? But I don't know. I guess the first big realization was that you can't use pressure to try to do it, and that you have to try to find like this tongue position. It's like, okay, it's like a whole other,
like the back of the tongue, right?
Yeah, it completely changed my amateur.
Yeah,
it's mind blowing.
So, all right. So how should we do this? I'm nervous.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, these sounds are seriously offensive, guys. Like, you got to be careful. Like, if you have roommates, you got family.
Yeah, it's like you lock yourself somewhere secret and then make this sound knowing that it's going to make you a better saxophonist and not because it sounds like at all good.
Correct. Okay, I'll talk about. All right. So let's give some tips. I'm looking for my tuner. Okay, tip number 1: have your tuner. Definitely have your tuner so you know where you're at, and you can focus on holding that pitch steady. Because it's like you're approaching any sort of instrument. If you're doing long tones, you want your pitch to be steady, and it's going to be hard in the beginning on this. And what's some advice you could give somebody that's first starting out playing the mouthpiece only exercises, and they're like really struggling getting the tone, any sort of tone out? I don't know. I remembered like when you first tried it in the beginning, like it was hard to get the initial tone out, but once you realize, oh, this is like the way I have to produce the sound.
Yeah.
What was like something that helped with that?
I think accepting like because you know there's gonna be a subconscious party that's like you don't want to hear what's gonna come out of this mouthpiece. You know, you're gonna be biting down. There's tension, and when you can overcome that and just kind of be like, you know what, this is gonna sound god awful, but it has to happen, you know, and you just release all the tension, and it's like, you know what, I can fix what sound is coming out later, but like there just has to be a sound that comes out, and you just kind of let it all out, you know, like you're blowing up a balloon or something.
That's a good point. So like take that big breath, get the mouthpiece set, and then push the air through. Don't even worry about it. Could go up and squeak and come down, but like you'll find like a fundamental frequency that will like resonate, and then that's when you want to focus on, because first step, I think the next step after you can produce the sound is, like you said, working on relaxing your embouchure a little bit so that your lip can stretch and you can open up a little bit wider to let the deeper frequencies come in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Should we do this one at a time?
Yeah, probably.
All right, you can go. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
It's up to you.
All right. So I'm going to go first, and the first thing I'm going to demonstrate is the Scott Grimaldi technique, where you find a pitch, you hold it as a long tone, and then you go down a half step. And then that's the first one. Then you come in on that second note, hold that, and then go down the next half step. So this is what this sounds like. Let me get this over here. And you kind of get the idea, and that can go lower, and you can do it in reverse, and you can go up the half step too, because the first note that you come in is probably going to be somewhere in the middle between the highest and lowest note that you can play. Probably a little bit closer to the highest note.
Definitely. I was going to say, yeah, those low notes are really kind of difficult to get at first.
Yeah.
So, and I think also because the resistance decreases as you get lower.
Yes, you really, the air, it's almost like the air. If you think of your air as like a laser that you're shooting through the mouthpiece, it's like a bigger...
exactly.
It's like a flashlight, like the old school flashlight that takes D batteries.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the...
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
All right, so... Which one am I going to do? Let's see.
Definitely, and go ahead.
For some reason, I found it really helpful to use solfege just to try, because I feel like once I got comfortable going up and down with the half steps, right now I got to admit I'm pretty out of practice.
That's fine. Me too.
But yeah, I started trying to do like triads and whatnot. Just try to do like regular aural skills stuff, but with the mouthpiece.
Definitely, yeah. All those exercises you can apply within the limited range of the mouthpiece.
Yeah, I mean, you have over an octave, it works.
It's very true. Little melodies. Mary had a little lamb.
Yeah.
Hot cross buns.
Giant steps.
Exactly. You knew exactly where I was going with that. So yeah, I think some additional advice other than definitely have a tuner. And I like your pieces. Think of it in terms of solfege or like scale degrees so that you can start to train your concept and inner ear. And treat it like a long tone exercise. Like we did a short, I feel like a bridge version. Like
definitely.
If we were practicing on our own, I would have held that like much longer.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But
it's just
like,
to demonstrate you don't want to
exactly. I say this all the time. Like people don't need to hear us practice. Like we just want to like convey the idea behind it. But definitely, like push your boundaries and hold those as long as you can and hope that, your neighbors don't have weapons.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's the mouthpiece only.
Yes, it is.
Cool. All right, so let's wrap it up, man.
Sweet.
Vaughn, thanks for coming over, man.
Great
that was a lot of fun. And we'll do another one next time. We'll play a tune or something.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. That was like